trying to go live. It's live.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
And we're the Streeters.
Welcome to the ARTyRV channel live stream tonight. We're talking about rebar and
reinforcing windows and what do's and don'ts, what to use. And there aren't a whole lot of what not to use, but we are going to talk about it. We got a couple questions we're going to get answered. And the first question is somebody wanted us to just explain the usage of each one of the jaws here on our grousing pliers. You know, we have a straight jaw barb and we have a curved jaw. So the straight jaw is used for breaking off pieces of glass smaller than your running pliers will do.
And they know these.
Yeah, everybody knows these running pliers. So what I do is, just because I know my limitations, I always put a mark on the top on the flat side. Your flat jaw is used exactly for this. Just for breaking off little pieces, and I do mean little pieces. So your under jaw, sometimes when your glass breaks, it breaks and has little angles. The other thing your under jaw is used for is for taking out little inside curves, and I'm just going to do this real quick. So I'm going to use my over jaw. Okay. And I'm also, sorry, Barb, I'm also going to use my under jaw. And what that does is that'll dig out a little bit if you need to get in there, and that's why it's called grousing. Okay.
Grousing.
Or grousing. Or growling. I think it's most people go by grousing. So thank you, Barb, for the.
I don't know.
I think it is grousing.
Pronunciation on the website last night, and I was like, "Is it grousing? Is it grousing?" Well, I don't know. So if somebody really knows the right pronunciation, let me know.
Sure. And you can take that when glass breaks, it breaks with little flares on it sometimes, Barb. And those flares can be sharper than razors. So sometimes you might want to take that under jaw and just go.
There we are. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry. Little technical difficulties. And then we had another viewer asked a question that she has trouble with using her hands, and foiling is really difficult. And would we recommend a tabletop foiler? And we would. The tabletop foiler will allow you, if you have certain control of your hands, will allow you because you're just really rolling the glass within a wheel that's attaching the copper foil to your glass. So once your glass is ground, cleaned, and now you can put it in that copper foiler, the tabletop foiler, it'll be much easier for you and definitely much more enjoyable. We have the Glass Star foiler here in the shop. Isn't that the one we use, the Glass Star? Mm-hmm. So you'll find that Glass Star makes one, and I believe Inland makes one too. We don't promote either one of these products because they're not paying us to do so. However, we have used both of the products over the last 30 some odd years that we've been in business, and prior to that, and they're both really good products, right, Barb?
Yeah. What, Glass Star?
And the Inland.
Yes. I'm trying to get.
So we're having everybody.
A little difficulty here. Okay.
And then we had a question, which is really what prompted tonight's live stream.
Okay.
Was the question, how do you reinforce large windows? Well, before we can answer even that question, the first thing we want to know is, number one, what kind of window are we reinforcing? Okay. So we're going to start out with reinforcing copper foil windows. Okay. So your copper foil windows really are a little more rigid than the lead is until the lead is putty glazed. the lead tends to to stretch with the heat and everything, but your copper foil. So we'll start out small. We're reinforcing small copper foil. Copper foil, small being sun catchers, right, Barb?
Mm-hmm.
Lamps, things like that. And they make
small panels that you're going to hang.
Yeah, just small things, okay? Nothing, nothing really big. But what we want to show you is to reinforce your sun catchers, definitely your Tiffany style lamps or your flat panel lamps, and small panels. We're going to use what we use here in the studio is 20 gauge pre-tinned copper wire.
Yeah. We have that on the website.
We have this on the website. You can check it out. And so it's really, this is a great way to, of course, go around where the vase cap goes in your lamp. That keeps your lamp from spreading out over gravity, pulling it down, popping it open like a can of worms. Also around the bottom of your lamp, 20 gauge works really well. 16 is a smaller number, larger wire. So let's say if we wanted to use a number 10 copper wire, that's the size copper wire that's inside the wiring in your home is a number 10, even a number 12.
Okay, so this is good for jewelry boxes, your lids, and your jewelry boxes.
Sure. Yeah, because you need to reinforce your lids on the jewelry boxes before you even attach the hinges. And just like we're going to explain to you with the reinforcing bar on lead windows or lead cane windows, that you want to be able to incorporate your reinforcing within your design in the beginning of the design itself.
Right.
So
you want to design your window to be beautiful and strong to last forever. So you have to think about that reinforcement and the design of your window. They're equal. The design and the structural reinforcement are equal, and they need to work together.
Exactly, because one can't work without the other. They are each other's prop. So when reinforcing copper foil, I have seen and have attached surface mounted reinforcing on copper foil windows.
Oh, really?
But my suggestion with copper foil is there's a product made by Cascade Metals, and this is called copper restrip. Now, this restrip is very flexible. It is mils thick and only 1/8 of an inch tall, so it will.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It will not. I guess. Let's see.
It does make your line a little bit
wider, maybe.
So you will. I mean, just barely. You're going to notice it.
Right.
But playing that in the structure of your window, so it's not noticeable to the eye.
So I'm going to show this, and
the design of your window.
I'll lift it up off the glass so you can see it, and it's the same thickness as the glass. So when you tack solder your window, you can bring this around through the lines or even into your borders, both running vertically and horizontally, right? This is a great way to reinforce your copper foil. However, it's also, those of you that have trouble with maybe your customer saying, ooh, we really don't like that rebar in there. This copper restrip will also go inside the channel, and then you put your glass up against it, and then you putty glaze the lead, and this is one way of reinforcing your lead caming, okay? It's just one way of reinforcing your lead caming. I personally, use the reinforcing bar. I use the bar, and that bar looks like this. right here. Okay. So this bar is a 1/2 inch tall, top to bottom, not the way you look at it. When you attach it to your window, you should only see the 1/8 inch. Actually, it's less than 1/8 of an inch. It's probably like 3/32 profile. And then it's attached to your lead like that. Okay. So after installing many rebars and then going back behind people and reinstalling rebars that have come off of windows so Barb's put together a,
sorry about that.
Yeah, no, we had a little,
I lost it and then I found it, but it popped up.
Yeah, so sometimes we have to install rebars that actually come off of windows because they are not installed correctly. And so Barb has put a little compilation of a video together of us working on a really large diameter window with a cross in it.
Yeah, it's a 1.5-minute video and really shows you how to attach that rebar to your stained glass window. And I'm just going to show it. It's just a 1.5 minutes.
So if you got time, yeah, please don't go away. Watch this video. And then maybe when you come back, you'll have some questions and we'll be able to answer. Hey, Amber in South Dakota, how you doing tonight?
Sometimes horizontal, sometimes vertical. Reinforcement. Yeah, depending on the window.
And we're going to go over that in just a little bit about design. I want you to see how we reinforced this cross window and how we thought about how we had to do it, and we also thought about how it was going to be. Soldering these rebars, you want a nice little wave down the bar right onto the part of the lead where you're fastening the solder itself. So the first thing you have to do is flux it. And just a little tidbit of information: ruby flux is expensive, but ruby flux is the best.
Good.
So now we want that nice little wave. See that wave coming down? So we want that nice little wave. If you're doing small windows, you can always put your reinforcing strip inside the lead if you choose to. I was just putting my feet. So we're gonna do a joint here that has only been fluxed. And first thing we're going to do is heat that up. And then we're going to go back in and flux that again. And then we're going to take a little bit of solder and then we're just going to get it hot. And you see how the solder ran down right there? We're going to put a little bit more. And there's our wave. Very rigid, won't come off. Enjoyed that little bit of you can go back and watch that wave that I'm talking about is you being able to attach. You have to get this rebar is I call it pre-tin, but it's actually zinc coated, so but it does solder. And what I like to do is I lay it on the window itself and I'll mark where I want my solder, where I want the rebar attached to the solder joints. Now, a lot of times the solder, I know, I got you. A lot of times your solder joints are, your rebars, the most rigid way to install your rebars is horizontally, okay? Depending on the design. If you're using diamonds, you want to install it vertically. And it doesn't matter. You're always going to have something going through a diamond because that's the diamond window, okay? So you're always going to have, it doesn't matter if you go on
and that's a window you especially need rebar on.
Because any window that is like this, or like this, or like this, you got to, the rebar is the most important part of it because that window is going to do what we call telescope, which means when it gets hot, it's going to roll. And if you're looking at the camera, it's going to get a belly in it, just like that. That's telescoping, okay? So if you don't reinforce your windows and you don't think about the design itself in the beginning, you are setting yourself up for failure. No, not for failure, just for sagging. And you always have to keep in mind, you know, when you put borders around something and you set it in the window and it's there and you put molding around it, unless there's something to hold what's above that border on the bottom, that border is going to do this. It's going to telescope and fold over. It might not happen in a year. It might not happen in 2 years, but I'll bet you in 3 or 4 it will. Mm-hmm. It'll start moving, won't it? Yeah. So you have to think about that. And in that case, when you have your horizontal bars and your borders going straight across, your horizontal bars are in your frame on each end, and they're attached both top and bottom, because your rebars are the very last thing that go on your window when it is completed. I'm talking complete, cleaning, puttying, polishing. You're ready to install that window, then you're going to dirty it up again by putting this on, because this requires flux. But without it, you're really just asking yourself to set up for failure. It's not, yeah. So
if you're not going to make it strong, then
why make it?
Why make it?
So, you know, and those of you that are restoring windows, I'm sure you've seen these 1/4-inch diameter steel rods, okay? And they drill a hole in the frame on this side, and they drill a hole in the frame on this side. But at the shop, what they do is they take 16 gauge, or maybe 18 gauge, and they take it and they attach it
in the window.
Onto the window itself, just like that, at the solder joint, and they leave themselves about 1 inch on each side. So then when they install the window in the frame, they push the rebar in one side because it goes in further, goes by this, and then they center it up, and then it's laying against the window, and then they take the rebar and they bring that over,
make a loop,
and now this you have to be careful, because if you pull it too tight, your window will do this. So this, you just have to lay it against it, pull it in, and cut it. Now and you'll do that all the way across. And some windows, if you're restoring them and if they're old enough, you're gonna see like 10 copper wires on each one of these rebars in up to a 3-foot area. But you'll see that it really works good. It's a great concept for reinforcing a window. And it's a great concept to be able to port. So, you know, take your windows to the job and then install your rebars without having your rebars on it trying to stack them. So it's a little bit different ways of doing things. Myself, when you're using the flat metal bar rebar, make sure you cut the ends off at about 45 degrees, because all you want to do is be able to notch the molding just to hold that in. The idea is to hold the window up, not hold it from moving side to side, right? Yep. And you can, now we've had a question before about, well, what if I wanted to take and bend the rebars to fit the window? You can do that, okay?
It's nice.
It's nice. It looks good, you know, and you can, and then you can solder it. Now keep in mind, a couple things are happening while you're soldering this rebar. It's already bent to the lead shape on the window, okay? Because it's bent and you're attaching it to a window that's bent, rather than running it perfectly vertical or perfectly horizontal, the bent rebar makes the window weaker rather than stronger. it looks really good. And if it's a small enough window, by all means do it, because you're going to knock your customer's socks off by doing it.
Well, this is a weaker reinforcement. Instead of using 2 in a space you'd use 2, you would need to use 3.
Right. So let's say if this was going across in like pickets, and we had 7 pickets, instead of just using 2, one here and one here, equally spaced, what Barbara's saying, because this is bent, which makes it weaker.
Well, the rebar is the strength of the rebar
is weaker. Is
weaker.
Right. Is compromised.
Right, not the window.
So no, not the window itself, but the strength of the rebar is compromised, because watch. If I take this and now the window starts to sag, look. It's gonna sag no matter what. So what Barbara's saying is, instead of using 2 of these bad boys on the horizontal, on the vertical, is we're gonna spread them out and we're gonna use 3. Now that's gonna help the window itself. It's gonna take the weakness out of this and the other one, and now we're gonna have 3. So it's gonna give it a little more support. So keep that in mind. And by all means, every chance you get, if you've got a vise and something to heat this with.
What was that? Oh, okay.
If you've got a vise and something to heat your rebar with, and then tin it back so that, because the bent rebar looks really, really good. I have to, and if you take the time to do it and design your window to do it, remember, the rebar design or the reinforcing design is in the beginning of the job, not at the end. Already know where your rebars are going before you even start cutting glass. That will help you survive your rebar reinforcing. We're reinforcing windows tonight, and really
I'm protecting myself from it.
There we go. That's awesome.
Yeah, you did good.
It's nice and smooth.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, Barb. Go ahead.
Does anyone have any questions tonight about reinforcing or anything else?
Hey, I'm glad that you got your lead nippers, and I'm so happy you love them.
Yeah.
I told you they're really not a whole lot of things that are in our toolbox that we enjoy a lot, but most of them are just our hand tools, because we've taken the time to really get the good ones. So I hope everybody's well tonight.
Yeah, I hope everybody's good. It's good to see everyone see that everyone is here.
Yeah, we just had one heck of a.
We've been having storms all week long.
Storms crazy. We how about a little live oak update?
Why don't you give them an update?
We give you an update on the live oak tree. We're working on window number 6. So hopefully by the end of this week coming up, we'll be halfway completed with the project. Barbara has started puttying window number 5. And when we get back in town, we will start on window number 7 and 8. So we're going to be knocking out 2 windows every 2 weeks from now until the time we go install them.
Oh, we wanted to show them the blue glass for the birds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Let me go get that.
Okay. They're on the middle table. So yeah, what we've done is we've decided, in the live oak panel, or in the oak tree project, we have that really pretty light blue glass that is going in certain areas, because, when you look through a tree, you do see some sky in the background. So what we've decided we're going to do is we're taking that same color blue glass, because the birds are actually sitting in the tree, and behind them we want a little bit of blue. So what we're doing is we've taken our birds, which y'all saw the cartoons last week, and I've got the egret right here behind me, the green heron. He's right here behind me. So what we've done is we've taken the egret or the green heron, and we've cut the pattern we've left a 1/2 inch of white paper around the egret itself. Okay. So then I laid that on light colored blue paper. I mean, blue glass, the same color as what we're using in the window. I laid that on top of that, and then I traced that out. So then my next thing to do with this project was to cut out the glass into, thank you, Barb, into the shape of the pattern. So I'm going to show you all this. I think you can probably see it. Let me get it pretty much right on there. Okay, so there's that. So you can really see it, and you can see how light blue that is. So the light blue, from the light blue down to the white, is going to be just dense black paint. Okay? And we did the same thing with our Carolina Wren. So I want you to see this. Okay? So you can see the Carolina Wren, and this blue glass, you see it's just kind of a washed blue. It's just really, really pretty. So I hope next week we'll show y'all. We will have once we blacken in, then that kind of looks like a penguin, doesn't it? Once we blacken in this glass with the black paint, then we're going to go in and we're going to pull out our tracing black and our really thin brush and get the paint nice and thick. And we're going to trace out both birds onto the blue glass. So it's going to be an awesome project, and you're going to be able to follow us through all the way through this project, including painting and firing the glass. So when we go to the back, we'll show you our kilns that we use for firing our glass. Thank you, Barb. Barb just dropped us off a drink. And so we wanted to show you that, and it's a little bit different.
Okay.
Woo, Barb, all that talking about that bird sure made me thirsty. So anyway, yeah, I think we're
I love it.
okay. Jean Bergman said that she really likes the idea, and that's going to be, wow, that's going to be beautiful. And
thank you, Amber.
yeah,
And
thank
Jean,
you.
Thanks. Yeah, very nice.
And
Very nice.
explain the sides of the grousing pliers. I just did that, and it'll be up when Barbara does a little bit of cutting. But hang on one second. She's gonna.
Oh, that was her question. She missed it at the beginning.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
She missed it at the beginning.
Well, let me show you. And I
always
won't
put a little mark on my flat side, so I
Yeah.
don't have to worry about it. So when I look down at my pliers, I always have that mark on the flat side. I know that's the flat side.
Yeah, and I do it on mine too, and I call it idiot proof it, which means idiot proof it.
Yeah, I do that to mine too.
Okay, so you're idiot proof it. So when you're cutting a small narrow line on your glass, your grousing pliers with the straight jaw up. Now I'm facing the straight jaw. Go and don't go right to the very edge of the glass, because you don't have to. You'll go in just a little tiny bit, and you want to make sure that, again, you're pulling down and away. Okay, down and away. Now your grousing pliers or your grousing pliers also have a curved jaw on them. That curved jaw is used for digging out. I probably could have got a darker piece of glass.
I know.
Duh.
That's hard to see.
Yeah.
What are you doing to it?
So anyway, hang on. Let me show you this. Can you see it?
Can't see
You
it.
can't see it. Anyway, your grousing pliers are used for making, let me see. You know what? I have all this glass right here. Anyway, anybody have a favorite color you want me to grouse for you? Let's see what we got here. Anyway, your grousing pliers are used also. Say, for instance, you can
She said
see that.
You don't have to do it. She'll catch up, but that's okay. He'll do it.
No, I'll go ahead and do it anyway. What I'm going to do is, this is just a square piece of glass at the top. I'm going to take my grousing pliers and I'm going to make it round. Okay.
So exactly what are you doing? He's using that plier.
So I'm using the pliers to pull down and up. And what that does is it takes that edge and I just rounded it. Or the other thing is if I want to get that little, see that little hoop-de-doo right there? The grousing pliers, you take that off with it like that. Okay. So I took that off. Now that's ready for grinding, get it squared up and ready for foiling, and you're all set. So your grousing pliers are really used for a multitude of different things. The main thing though is scooping off narrow pieces of glass. Here you go, Barb. I'm sorry.
Nothing worse than a little sliver of glass up.
Yeah, and I just happen to have a trash can in my lap. Ah, that's crazy.
Okay, stop moving around.
All right. So anyway, so I just took a 1/2 inch piece of glass, and you know that your running pliers won't do that, but your grousing pliers will pull that off.
And wear your glasses when you're grousing, because that glass goes everywhere.
Wear your safety glasses or your glasses, no matter what you're doing in the glass studio.
I would. Good advice. Any questions? Anybody have any questions? Did you have any other questions this week?
I did not. Everybody seemed to be kind of wanting to know what the different products were available for reinforcing your glass windows.
And all those products are on the website. I went on Amazon and I, searched, and we shop Amazon all the time. So we wind up getting a lot of our products from Amazon, but we always check prices with our distributor first, and then we go to Amazon.
Right.
So we give our distributor the first chance. And usually, well, I can't say usually, but a lot of the times it's pretty
comparable, except for the shipping part of it.
Yeah, that's what kills you.
The shipping just eats you up. And I think since all the shippers figured out that, or think that COVID's over and it's really not, they're charging you more to ship stuff.
Okay, so is the flat always on top?
Always on top.
Yeah, so that's different than your running plier. Well, yeah, your running pliers are the same way. Your running pliers are always a certain way.
Right.
Too.
But your running pliers, okay, have 2 jaws. The bottom jaws is convex, okay?
Yeah.
The top jaw works like this.
See, I never had anyone tell me that you learn something every day. I've never had anyone tell me that the flat side always goes up.
Well, if you ever tried to break off a small piece of glass with the flat side down.
I know when you're breaking it off. I'm talking about when you're grousing it. But I guess I do. Yeah, I'm trying to think when you're grousing it. But anyway, I'm probably doing it wrong. That's why
I've always used the bottom jaw and pulled up. And I guess you can grouse with the top jaw going down, I guess, but you really can't break anything because that plier rolls over so far.
Can't break anything,
yeah, you can't break anything.
Okay.
But yeah, that's number one is reinforce your work and think about it. And think about, even if it's a small copper foil piece, if you take that 20 gauge wire and you go all the way around that piece of copper foil, you know what? It'll never come apart. Just like a lamp. If you take the time to wire it correctly and put the wire and the right gauge wire where it belongs, then you won't ever have to worry about it. Gravity working on it.
When you have a shop and you get a lot of repairs and you find out what everybody did wrong. And so that has helped us over the years figure out how to do it right. But for years, and not so much lately, we used to have a lot of lamps come in that weren't reinforced.
Oh my gosh.
And they were falling apart, and no one,
Well, no one knew the better because they're paying $59 for them.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah. So we're glad that you're working with more lead these days. That's awesome.
The fingernails are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you start working, mine look pretty bad.
Yeah, but Barbara keeps hers at a nice, comfortable length. I think they're real and they always look
Perfectly.
good. If it's perfect for scratching my back. So
yeah,
anyway,
you can't do stained glass. Well, yeah, you can. I have seen someone that does stained glass with long fingernails, and
really long.
I don't know how she does it, but God bless you, girl. You're doing it.
If she does it,
doing it, and your nails look great. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I couldn't
I don't
because
know.
I'm a baby.
So I did want to tell everybody that you don't always have to on the tin to steel rebar. It does come in 1/4 inch by 1/8 inch as well. So it's very small. Actually, it's a little bit more difficult to work with because you have to solder it in more places because it tends to move a little bit more. Okay. So I'm real comfortable with the 3/8 rebar myself, and I can use it on just about everything. What do you think, Barb?
I think that's right.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think so. Okay, so we're not getting too many questions tonight, but we'll be happy to answer any that you have. So we'll be doing we'll have another live stream next week. And then we'll start back with the live oak.
Yeah, you'll start back with the live oak. I don't think we'll
have a couple little videos coming out, but they're mostly mixes of other videos that I'm trying to get all the really pertinent information to you guys without you having to watch an entire video.
Yeah.
So if you see like 3 and 4 minute videos out there, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make them so that you guys can say, okay, I want to see copper foil. I want to see something about solder. So eventually I'll have my playlists for you guys to be able to look and see exactly where everything is. I'm getting there, but it's.
And maybe we'll have the outline of the birds done for.
The outline will be done.
The outline should be done by next week, maybe. We'll see.
We have to fire it this week.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
We've got a lot going on.
Yeah, because the birds need to start because I only have 2 more panels and we're to the panels where the birds are.
Yeah.
So all of that has to start and get moving. And Barb's going to be our go-to person for scratching the birds and making them look like birds.
I'll try the best I can. I don't know if I can do it as good as you.
She can. Just said,
I'll try.
Oh no, heavens!
No, I enjoy it, but we'll see.
It is,
This is a little bit different than I'm used to.
The thing about working with,
I may need some help.
The thing about working with stained glass is that at the end of the day, you know that you have accomplished something.
Yes, it's very gratifying when it's finished.
Yeah, and once you can only go we'll only go so far with these paintings. And then we have to fire them. And then we have to let them cool.
I'm just trying to figure out how many firings we have on those. I think we're going to have like 7 firings.
I think 6 or 7, yeah, because we've got white in the Carolina Wren's breast. And now we have all this beautiful green iridescent that's going to be on the green heron. And that also requires us to eliminate the blue behind him. So it's going to be quite interesting on how to do that.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting.
We love it, though. We love it. I hope that y'all are having fun doing. I know it's been kind of hot out, so if you work out in your garage, I understand. If you have a little building, make sure the air conditioner's flowing for you.
Marion said that she would like to see the window repair process. We do have a couple videos on the window repair process, and maybe I can kind of mash those together to where we're, so that you don't have to, watch a whole entire video if you want to look up, repair.
Amber says you do a great job on editing, so
Thanks.
She does. I tell her that, but I'm glad you told her. Thank you.
So we can get those, right to you. So if you want to look up copper foiling, then all of them are right there. So I'll try to get all those repaired. But I think we do have a section, a playlist that says stained glass repair. So you might want to go back to that playlist.
I know we've done some lead repair restoration, and we've also repaired a lamp.
Repair restoration. Some of them are repairs, mostly repairs. I don't think. Yeah,
and
we
have
one restoration.
We have 1, 2, 3 windows right now we need to repair. So maybe we can get a video of those when we, next week when we
if
get
you
back
have your
to the
own
studio.
Stained glass studio, you'll find that the repair business can be a very lucrative part of your business, especially if you're the only game in town. Even if you're not the only game in town, some people
If you're good at what you do.
If you're good at what you do and you're not afraid to get dirty,
or if you're not afraid to ask the price you need to fix it. That's all. Yeah. It's very simple.
Remember, when you're repairing a window, you're not only building a window, you're taking a window apart. So
you're doing it twice.
So you're taking it apart, and that part is a very precise process. Mm-hmm. And he sprung a leak. He's bleeding.
We're good.
That's a very important process. So, yeah.
Yeah. So keep up. And pricing your work, Barb, is probably one of the hardest things that there is to do anyway. But don't be afraid to, don't be afraid to ask for that order. Okay. Really, don't be afraid to ask for it.
But make sure you're covered.
Yeah, make sure you're covered. If it's a repair job, right off the bat, minimum materials with shipping is going to be $50. I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if you just need one little piece of glass, most shippers or most suppliers have a minimum of $65 or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if they have that,
our minimum for repairs now is about $150 just to take a repair in. Little ones, $75.
$75 minimum for sun catcher repair, and you better have a nice sun catcher for $75.
Yeah, I mean, most of them are sentimental value, and people want to have them fixed.
Right.
But there's a lot of work that goes into some of these little sailboats.
Oh my gosh, that sailboat the gentleman brought in is beautiful, but it's got 20 pieces, and it's wired like a schooner is wired or strung on a model. You know what I'm saying? It's got so many little tiny wires for that, and they all accentuate different parts of that sailboat, don't they? It's and
that might be a good
we need to fix it.
video to show how to take those
and it may be a little project, for everybody that lives along the coast up in North Carolina, Florida.
The pattern,
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, the pattern. So that might be kind of cool.
Yeah, the price of materials has gone up a lot. It's gone up a whole lot.
Yeah, when we started our own business in 1986, we were paying $49 for a 50-pound box of lead, and it was $11 to ship it.
Shipping was always so cheap.
Yes. So now we pay over $200 for a 50-pound box, and we pay $49 to ship it.
We used to build church windows for
$80 a square foot.
Can you believe that?
$80 a square foot. And we thought we had something going on.
But that was the going rate back then.
And we were competitive.
And we made money because our materials were cheap and,
Well, it's all relative to what everything is now. So just be careful. Don't be afraid to ask for that order. And also, your friends are the worst ones. They'll be like, man, you made that. Can you make me one of those? I mean, like, I sure can for $45. What?
Or they get it for their birthday.
Usually that's a good thing to remember. If your friends say that they like something, that tells you two things. Number one, they just let you know that that's sellable. And the other thing is they deserve to have one for their birthday. because they just took a lot of your work.
Your friends are your biggest advocates.
They sure are. And if you give one to your birthday, they're going to sell you 5. So that's good.
Yeah. Well, your enemies don't buy from you now. They don't even come visit you when you're.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know, somebody told me one time that
lockdown.
That if you do something wrong to somebody, they will tell everybody, even people they don't know. They'll stop them on the street and tell them what you did to them. If you do a kind deed for someone, they'll tell the people they know and care about. So that and you'll get work out of it, and you'll get a lot of other things out of it too, because it does come back to you. But yeah, if you mess up and do somebody wrong, they're going to tell everybody, even people they don't know. So your enemies don't buy from you. Nah, they sure don't.
No.
I don't have any enemies, do
I don't think you have any.
I? I don't have any enemies.
I do.
They all
But
want to
you
make
don't.
Christmas ornaments.
We don't have enemies. We have a lot of very good friends and a lot of wonderful customers and neighbors.
We have thousands of customers, and we have you guys on our YouTube channel, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So we wanted to come up with you and just talk to you this week about reinforcing your stained glass windows, because other than putting it together, it's the most important part of the window. It says, I'm going to last forever, or it says I'll last till I heat up and you put me in and go home. You don't want to do that. You don't want. That's one of those things you don't do.
Janine wants to know where
we're located.
Where we're located. Did I pronounce that right? Is it Janine?
Jean Ann.
Jean Ann. Okay.
Hey, Jean Ann. Yeah, we are right now. We are
in Conway, South Carolina. We're in Conway, South Carolina. We're in Conway, South Carolina. We're about 15 miles from Myrtle Beach.
Yep.
And we live here. Our studio is here. And
we've
been here for about 30. I've been here for 37 years, and Ed has been here
since 1967.
Since 1967.
Anyway, I've been here for a long time, and I got tired of being here by myself, so I grabbed Barbara.
And I came
and Barbara came down here and lived with me. So now we have this great studio. And I think Barbara really always wanted to do art. She just didn't know that she enjoyed glass so much. And she found out that she enjoyed glass when actually we both found out that we enjoyed glass because we started collecting it while we were dating.
Yes.
And then we got invited up to Penland School of Crafts one day. And we sat there for 2 hours and watched them blow glass.
But we're talking about stained glass, honey. I don't want to hear about you.
No, but that was all, it was all relevant to what we were doing. It was glass and stained glass. And when I worked for a company in Myrtle Beach, that's what they did was stained glass. And they had hand beveling equipment. So one whole winter, all I did was bevel glass for a specific restaurant that's still in Myrtle Beach. And the windows are still there, as a matter of fact. That was a winter project. It was about 500 pieces of hand beveled glass in those windows.
See what happens when you ask us one question. He just goes on and on.
I have lots of stories to tell, and they're probably old stories, but I'm an old guy. So
Amber wants to hear it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean.
Yeah, you want to hear it, huh? It's so funny because Barbara's heard all my stories. Actually, I have some new ones, and I don't repeat myself yet. So when I do, then we have a problem. Right? Do I?
He can't hear.
Now, learning how learning how to hand bevel glass
We're not talking
was really awesome. Okay. We were, yeah.
Yes,
Amber said she wanted to hear it.
Okay. Did we teach ourselves to blow glass?
Yes.
Yes. Well, we went to school, but then yes, mostly.
Because we're self-employed, we've had the opportunity to go and go to school a grand total of what, 5 weeks?
5 weeks.
5
we've
weeks
worked
and
with
26
glass
years.
blowers and had a lot of fun in the studio learning new techniques and things from them.
Yeah.
But mostly it's practice, just like you guys. You take classes and then you go back in your studio and you just sit there and work and you figure it out and you read books and you watch videos and you talk to your other friends and you just keep learning. And that's what we've done over the years.
Over the years, that's what we've done. And we've created, a friendship just like what we have here on our YouTube page, a friendship that is very open and people can ask us anything. And again, we don't have any secrets. If we know how to do it, we'll be happy to teach you how to do it. And
I think I'm going to get 2 microphones in here because I'm realizing that you guys probably can't even hear me.
Sure,
I know you can hear me now, but
can you hear me now?
so we might need 2 microphones.
Okay.
Or some lavaliers or something.
Okay.
I'll get some lavaliers. It'll be easier.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
we have a lot of our glass techniques are self-taught. We started fusing when there was only one book out there, if there was one book. We wasted a lot of glass that summer, didn't we?
She said she can hear us. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, because without Barb, everything else is void.
What's that mean?
It is. It's void because I don't know how to hook this stuff up.
Well, I'm going to teach you.
But together we have a tremendous amount of fun. We both enjoy the same things, and I think that's what's important in our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something new for me. It's something new for Barb, but we are enjoying it, and we're having fun.
We're excited to get to know you guys, and we've been on a little bit longer than usual. So I think if you guys are ready to go, unless you got some more questions.
Yeah, do you have any questions? The re-strip, just remember, if you're doing copper foil, this is probably the way to reinforce it. And because it'll go everywhere, but keep in mind, first and foremost, in your design, keep in mind your rebar and where it's going to go. You're reinforcing in the design in the beginning. Don't wait till the end and go, oops, where am I going to put the rebar? Don't do that to yourself because it's crazy and you don't want to do it. So just keep in mind. And too, if you've restored several windows, the old timers, they knew what they were doing with reinforcing. So look at those windows and see where they place the reinforcing. Or if you're like me, I'm just a geek with glass, and if I walk into a church or walk into a sanctuary, I want to see the windows, and then I want to see how they reinforced them. Typically, the reinforcing, and if you look at churches, the reinforcing is horizontal, and it's roughly every 12 to 16 inches. So when that...
He's eventually just going to move me. I'm just going to move.
I'm sorry, my
out.
stool's rolling over. I'm sorry. My stool's rolling over.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry. Boom, boom, rolling over.
Okay.
Okay, how's that?
That's
bad?
fine.
Okay.
It's just that I'm just... Okay.
We turned the table around so that it was open
More
on this end so I can
He's
stick
just
my legs through
He's
it.
not doing too good over
I'm not
there.
doing
He's-
too well for it,
keeps
but
moving my feet.
getting a shot in the hip tomorrow. So hopefully all this pain's going to go away that I've had for 3 years.
So Ed's getting a shot in his hip tomorrow, but we'll still be back next week. He's going to take a couple days off, and we'll be back at it.
Yeah, we'll be back at it next Monday Night Live. We're gonna take a couple relaxing days off, doctor's orders after the shot, and we're gonna take our.
He's actually going to go fishing.
I'm taking my grandchildren. I'm taking my 2 middle grandsons
Tell the
fishing.
truth.
I am. I'm taking my 2 middle grandsons fishing for 2 days. And funny story, my youngest grandson, actually no, my middle grandson, is working with his dad, my son-in-law, and he loves it. He absolutely loves it. So last time we were seeing him, he says to my son-in-law, Jason, he says, hey, next time Nana and Pop Ed come up, I'm going with them and we're going camping. He said, well, my son, Jason says, well, Parker, you have to work. And Parker says, but Dad, it's Nana and Papa Ed. So Jason had to explain to him it didn't matter if it was us or anybody really, that you still have to work. But after you're done working, you can go camping and fishing. So he's working till 3 o'clock. They knock off they build bridges. So they knock off every Friday at 3 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And so Parker will be home in the shower and probably in the RV with his fishing poles by 4:15, and we'll be on the road to the campground. Yeah. So we're taking him somewhere special. Yeah. And we've never even been before. So
it should be fun. So we're taking Artie.
And they've never been camping.
With his new tires.
With us.
And we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, it should be fun. So we're getting the fishing poles together. My daughter Trisha, she texted me their fishing license today, so I have them in my phone in case they can't find them if they get caught. So we don't want them getting no $50 fines while we're trying to catch fish, and we're going to be just having fun with the kids this weekend and enjoying ourselves.
Okay.
Giving mom and dad a relaxing break.
Okay. I think we're ready to go.
Prayers to you too, Amber. It's all good.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for all the good wishes, and happy cutting.
Yes, happy cutting. And we're going to slide on out.
Yeah, here. Put your questions, write them down if you want. If you have some for next week, we will be going live next week. We'll have an oak tree update, and we should have
a couple videos come out during the week. I guess you guys saw the one on the, what was it? Cutting. It was cutting. Yeah. Oh, he's cute.
Barbara's got a egret on her shoulder.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. We're going. We're going.
Yeah, we're going.
We're leaving.
The rain stopped. I'm going to take Barb. We're going to grab a bite to eat. Good night, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe and ring. Ring that bell, everybody.